Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the American Tier 8 Tech Tree Light Tank, the M41 Walker Bulldog. Now this is a tank that received some buffs not too long ago. And what were those buffs? Well, the buffs were that it gained an extra 10 meters view range, so it's got 410 meters view range now. It gained quite a lot of extra DPM, so that you can max out the reload on it to about 3.2 seconds, 3.3 seconds, depends if you run vents or not. And it sort of brought that rate of fire in line with the M41D, the Chinese Tier 8 premium light tank that came out also quite recently. It also received some buffs to its dispersions while on the move and stuff like that, so it fires better on the move, and accuracy buffs as well. It went from like 0.36 or 0.37 to 0.34 base accuracy, which really helps the tank a hell of a lot. And I went back, because I've not actually 3-marked it on this account, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a go again. We'll give it a run around, especially with some of the new maps and the new speed equipment, right? So I basically dropped the vert stabs. Because of that accuracy changes that they did to the tank, I thought, you know what, screw the vert stabs, don't really need it all too much. As you're seeing with this YOLO-ass play that we're doing right here, I don't know what I'm doing here. I got spotted and I just ran around and panicked a lot and managed to come out with quite a bit of assistance. But anyway, yeah. So I decided to screw the vert stabs. So I ran the rammer, I believe it's the traction system, the one that basically gives you better track traverse and 10% better speed. That's the one I ran. So I actually run at 74 kilometers an hour in the Bulldog, which is just stupid. Like those pieces of equipment are stupid, and it makes the honestly, to be honest, it made the Bulldog really easy to play, because I could YOLO about at great speed and just get away with so much more. And 74 kilometers an hour in the Bulldog is just mental generally. As you'll see as we're running around, like, it takes absolutely no time to get up to this top speed. The only downside to it, especially with the 10% extra track traverse, is the fact that the tank basically sometimes goes too quick for itself and you end up sliding, which can be a pain in the ass, but yeah, it's what happens sometimes. But on the whole, it was an enjoyable experience playing through it. I've got another video to come yet on this tank, and also I think this is one of the first ones we've done with 7.0 as well, where you're seeing the HP numbers back above the tank, which is a great change. It's one that, thank God, they finally did it, because we really needed that back. I missed having those HP numbers above the tank so much, and I'm so happy they're back. It makes a world of difference. You don't really realise until you get them back, pretty much. So we're on highway in this first replay, and like I say, we did some ridiculously aggressive, stupid plays where we YOLO'd about, and that's because we took the aggressive position at E45, and we went and got spotted by the LHMTV that YOLO'd in. And that meant that I got spotted. I ended up taking a whack. I just YOLO'd about because it was like, oh, I can't go anywhere else, so I may as well go down into the ditches and get cover. And then I spotted them all up, so I got a load of assistance. Now we're harassing. This 268 version 5 is trying to get some shots at our friends. We're trying to keep popping shots in between the spaced armor in his tracks so that we get the pen, because we've only got 175 pen. And sometimes you can just ricochet shots on T10s and stuff like that, and that's what the 268 version 5 is. We get a nice shot straight through the Dragon there, and now Randy's gone in, somehow survived. We shut down the Dragon, who's trying to get a shot at him, and now we're just going to start popping shots at this Waffle Panzer IV. The Waffle Panzer IV goes down. Now we're going to see if we can get a shot at the lower plate of this Cranvarm, which we're not actually going to pen with standard rounds. We fire some heat straight through his lower plate and finish him off. We're going to look to see if we can get a shot into this 268 version 5, and then we get a shot straight through him as well. And now there's a problem. They've got 4 people right next to the cap. Now make that 3. And the possibility of them capping is very high. We've got 1 guy in the cap. Me and Randy are like, let's go back and defend it. Now this is where the speed buffs are, I say the speed buffs. This is where the engine equipment has helped the Bulldog for me to be able to just zoom back to base. it's cutting it very close. There's 15 seconds left, so we're going to take the bridge to make it a lot quicker, because we can obviously get up flat ground. Take the path, because hopefully it won't be too bad. And we're going to get there in the nick of time. We're going to reset. Oh, the shot misses, but Randy gets that one in. We get a shot into the M103, which is what we need to do. And now we're just going to absolutely YOLO these guys, because we want to keep resetting. We need to get resets on all of them. We do. We get a reset on all of the tanks. And we're just going to auto aim and fire. I know I'm dead here, but I got the reset that I needed to get. And we get shut down. But because of the distraction that we ran to all those 3 tanks, as of the M41, the M48 that wasn't bothered, because of that distraction, our team managed to get back and farm them as they turned to face me. And now my team is basically just going to shut the rest of them down, which is nice. I mean, that was the sort of play we had to do, because like Randy was only on 359 health. They could have finished him off in one shot. I had the speed there to get round them and just pray that they didn't hit me, which they did in the end, but we just caused enough of a distraction and got enough shots in to defend the base and reset. So we finished that game with 5 kills, 2.6k damage, ace tanker, defender medal, Confederate, 2.9k assists, 1744 base XP, and a nice ace tanker in the M41. It was all about that reset. We had to get that reset in to save that, and unfortunately we missed that first shot, which I thought is game over at that point. But Randy managed to just get in there, get the reset on the M41, which gave us enough time to then go and reset the other 2 tanks, because that is something that people do tend to not do, and that is once they've locked on to shooting someone, they'll just keep shooting the same target. Whereas if they're capping like that, it's not going to work. You need to go reset the other people that have the cap points, because if you keep shooting the same guy, they're just going to cap out eventually anyway. So we just kept it so that we were shooting those same people. So now we're on Kaunas, and we're taking up a good position. That's an early position to use, and you're seeing why it's a good position to use early, because we get the shots at the side of people like this T-77 and the C-75 as he crosses over. Now this is a position that is good at the start of the game, but once 1 or 2 have crossed over, you want to be thinking about moving quite quickly, because the chances are that once they've got across, you're not actually going to get any more shots off, and you're basically wasting time sitting in this position. So like you see me now, I just go, you know what, no, okay, we've got to go now. We end up coming across this light tank. We auto-aim into him. We're driving directly behind him. We're loading HE because it's an AMX 1390. I can pet it in the side of the turret or the back. But we're so close that means that we can actually just miss this guy dead easily with auto-aim. It's a pain in the ass sometimes when you're on a light tank and you auto-aim at someone and you are chasing them and you are literally directly alongside them. That just means that you are more likely to miss, because you're just so close that the shell ends up, because I think it's because of the server, I think, to be honest. It ends up meaning that you just end up shooting behind them pretty much every single time. You need to free aim those short shots. So I got in front there of the E75, which I looked at and went, okay, it's an E75, I'm not going to pen from the front. So we managed to sort of avoid his shot and get over to this position here. We've got some nice shots into the Stirrer Mill. Those gun handling buffs are really helping us. And you see, with the way the gun is, even after we've been moving and stuff like that, we don't really need the vert stabs. The gun has been handling perfectly itself without them. So it's one thing that you don't really need. We're now taking an aggressive position up here to try and get shots at the side of the, I think it's a Mauerbrecher or the unskinned Mauerbrecher, and his friends over there, the VK101P. But we keep getting detected and being looked at. We knock down the tree in the hope that it maybe gives us a bit of concealment next time we pop up. We've got the food popped, and we're going to try and get some shots into the side of the Mauschen with the heat, because with APCR, we're pretty much never going to go through that Mauschen. We managed to get a shot straight through the Stirrer Mill just as he got unspotted as well, which is nice. We're now shooting at the side of the turret of the Tiger 2. We're getting some nice shots into him. He's weirdly angling. We get another one in blind. We get spotted and detected, so we pull back because we're not hanging around for too long here. We reload the APCR, and we're going to go over onto this E75 over here, because I want to get rid of this guy. I want to try and help my 2 heavy tanks here. He shoots one of them guys, and we get up alongside him. We pop a shot into his side, because you know, with the APCR, we're going to easily go through this guy's side. He's not bothered about us. I'm kind of in a position that I was feeling a bit awkward there, because we were on the wrong side of him, really, because of the rocks. And if they hadn't penned in my teammates, it could have quite easily squeezed us into those rocks and it could have been awkward. We're getting some nice shots now on the move into the Tiger 2. We've got one into the ball sig as well, and we're underneath, or we're above their guns now really, where this ridge line is, and we're keeping this ridge line between us. That ball sig tries to snap a shot into us, he misses. Now we know that we can pop a shot or two. Unfortunately, we end up missing the auto-aim shot. I know I can probably get one more before he gets to shoot us again. He's attacking, which meant that he was actually reloaded, which was a bad judgment call on my part there. I'm hoping to finish him off before he gets another one in. We actually got lucky that the Tiger 2 only tracked us, and now I'm just going to use the speed of the tank to get round the side of this Tiger 2 in the hope that he misses us, which he does. And we're just going to farm this poor guy up now, because the rate of fire on this tank is crazy at 3.3. Now what they've got left, they've got 6 tanks left, and they're all over here near our medium tank. So I'm thinking, it's an awkward situation, right? So we're going to get over here and try and get a shot into the Vanguard. He gets unspotted. Try and get a shot blind into the Barras, but it doesn't happen. Now, I was hoping my heavy tanks would keep going north, but they've actually come back. There's no point in me going head first into their tanks, because I'm a light tank, right? I may have a good rate of fire, but they're just going to eat me up for breakfast very, very easily. So what I want to do is get up behind them. So I'm hoping to use my great speed that I've got, especially with this piece of equipment now. Great driving. And we're going to get to about F7. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if we get to F7, these 2 heavies can hold them, because they were pretty damn healthy as well. If they hold them for long enough, I can get round and get shots into the rear of these guys and just create a bit of a crossfire. There is an IS-3 up there, or an IS-6, sorry. We end up missing the shot on him. He ends up killing himself, and now we've come across the side of this T-34-3. So we're just going to start pummeling shots into him to try and take a gun away from them. The T-34-3 is a bit awkward. Unfortunately, one of our heavies gets destroyed, the IS-6. And we're just going to keep pummeling shots into T-34-3. Now, if we were an M41D here, the shots into that T-34-3 would have been a lot easier to pen. But with the M41's 175 pen, it's a lot more difficult to pen that tank, because the 175 pen just isn't enough. Like 192 on the standard rounds of the M41D, it definitely is. So I'm thinking right here, you know what? We've lost here. I'm just going to YOLO this T-34-3 black. Get 1 or 2 shots in, he's probably going to pen me, and I'm going to die. And I decide, you know what, no. Now, I could probably still do alright here. I've got the speed. I can get out. I'm trying to assess what's left, and with the 17 shells I've got left, and the health of a lot of the tanks that are left, I'm looking at it going, actually, this game's probably unwinnable, possibly. Just off of what I've got left, and the fact that I would literally have to hit every shell, and missing shots like that on a Vanguard doesn't help. This Vanguard is charging. We managed to shut him down. We've spotted that the Brask is now coming for us, and we're just going to keep running. Just run, run, run. Keep on the move, because obviously the Brask is a pretty derpy gun, so if we keep on the move, there is all the hope that this guy might miss us. We're going to try and just use speed to our advantage. We managed to hit another shell at this guy on the move. I'm kind of sad that we've only got heat left, because if I had APCR, it would make hitting this guy on the move a lot easier, especially with auto-aiming, because the heat obviously has worse shell velocity than the APCR. We ended up missing another one. As we come round, and I'm thinking, you know what, I might just ram this guy to death. We end up losing about 300 health for that ram, which in hindsight is probably what gets me killed here, because the T-34-3 black comes around and he shuts us down. If we hadn't rammed that Barask and we'd missed him and we decided to turn around and follow him, we probably could have survived that. But the thing is, we didn't really have enough shells left to even carry that game, because we'd have had to pen a lot on the 50 TP prototype, and we just wouldn't have killed them. But we finished that game with Ace Tanker, High Caliber, unfortunately a loss. 1349 base XP, 4 kills, just under 6k damage, which is a hell of a lot for a tank that only does 150 damage. But it's just sad that we couldn't get the win on that one. Unfortunately, you can do a lot in games, and sometimes you can't do enough to win it by yourself. And that was just one of those poor, sad little cases. So we're into the third and final replay, and this one we're on Sand River. And I'm going to go to the normal shelf that I'd go to at Sand River, which is the G56 area. Like I'll always say in these videos now, for Sand River, this side on this ramp is so much better than the other side now. The other side is the type of position that once you take, you tend to spot up maybe 1 or 2 tanks that goes up onto G1, G2, and you might get an odd shot or two, but it's one that you don't want to stick around at, because anybody on the dunes along the 1-2 line can shoot you very, very easily on that hill, and you just get wrecked really quickly. Whereas from this side you have a lot more cover, you can keep dipping down, and there's a lot less chance that you'll keep getting hit, but you still get a nice amount of chances to shoot people. So I'm trying to poke up to see if I can spot some tanks. Unfortunately, I'm not really spotting anything along the K line. There's this Tiger 2, which we're going to try and snipe his cupola. We end up ricocheting, unfortunately. But I'm being a bit wary because obviously there is artillery in play, and if there is anything along that K line, it might hurt. But they seem to be quite well placed along the northern area of the map. And I'm thinking, you know what, and Randy's the same, it's like, okay, let's see if we can go help the north, because there seem to be all up there. There's not as many along the K line. They're either in this middle area or at like C789. So I'm thinking, you know what, let's go in. Let's go help these medium tanks, because they're probably going to get YOLO'd at some point. This Type 59-2 comes down, it's like, okay, no. This machine is YOLOing, and he is dumping his clip. He's taking a few big hits. We end up getting hit by the guys up north, so we're ducking left. But I could shoot this Type 59-2 right next to me. But honestly, I want to get the machine. Because it's a machine, it's going to hurt once he's reloaded. So we're just going to keep popping shots on the move and try and get out. But we want him gone, because he is the danger, right? He is a dangerous tank. He is the danger. Now I'm thinking, how can I get this guy? Because obviously he's going to be reloaded at some point soon. He could finish me off. So I'm going to pop a shot on the move over. Unfortunately, we end up bouncing, but we get another shot into his side, and it looks like we're going to probably finish him off, which we do. They've got a Waffle up there, which is like, okay, no, that's not good. We get tracked by the CS-59, which we automatically repair. And at this point, I'm thinking I'm kind of dead to this CS-59, because obviously he's got 390 Alpha gun, pretty good DPM. Luckily for me, he ends up missing, and we get away, and unspotted, we now move to the point where if we do get spotted firing at this FV4005, we can quickly pull back behind this hill. Now I was thinking of loading HE, but I thought, well, I'll probably end up reloading it, and then something like that will happen. It'll get unspotted, and yeah, it would be a waste of a reload, basically. The FV4005 gets shut down. We're going after the CS-59 now. I want to try and help my team get some shots into him. We get 1 in, 2 in, and I'm thinking now it's risky where we are. We've just seen him fire. We get another 1 in. Unfortunately, it bounces, but he now turns his attention towards me, and I'm like, okay, nope. We're not doing that, because we're not dying right now. We've got Randy in front of us, obviously in the general, who is reloaded at this point, so he could shut down the CS-59. And I'm thinking, what can I do right here to help? This Manticore is one that I'm thinking about going for, because obviously he's going for Randy, but Randy shuts him down with 2 shells. And there is the CS-59. The CS-59 shoots Randy, but Randy gets his final shell in his clip in. So this is my time to shine. Get in there, get 1 in. Luckily for me, he ends up only doing track damage, and we shut him down because we unfortunately low-rolled on one of those shells. Now, I thought I might have a little bit longer, but obviously the CS-59 does have a good reload, and he got the reload in. This Waffle gets spotted up as he's coming over. He's looking for shots at Randy. Somehow gets unspotted up there. I have 410 meters view range. I have very good view range. It's a Waffle. It has no camo. Somehow got unspotted, so we don't get any more shots at him. But this bat chat is coming after Randy, which unfortunately he shuts him down. So we're going to try not to let him get away with it. Get another shot in there. Hopefully we'll get to shut him down. It just gets beyond the ridge line. I'm mindful that there is a Waffle up there, which we've just got to be careful of. Hoping to catch that bat chat. We spot him up, and that snap on the move goes straight in, shuts down the bat chat. And now we've just got to worry about the Waffle that is up here. We know where the other 2 heavy tanks are. They're along the HJK. We get spotted up by the Waffle, which we're just being careful of. But I actually want to kind of go after the 2 heavies. But I'm thinking, if this medium tank comes with me, we could probably take this Waffle on. I've got to be careful of artillery, obviously, because artillery could hurt. But this Waffle's actually dumping his clip. I think he's trying to hit this artillery, which... No, he actually shuts down the T-77, but he's fired his load now, which means that he's reloading. Obviously, he's got the 128mm, which means his reload is about 40-odd seconds, 48 seconds, something like that. So I know we've got time. I'm going to just go in with this medium tank because the medium tank has gone in. We've loaded the HE because this is where it's going to come in useful with our 240 odd alpha with the HE rounds. Get one in, get two in, 219. We just got to keep moving because look, you see artillery is still trying to peg us. Another couple of shells in. This object 430 version 2 gets another shot in, which means we can finish the Waffle off. There's now only 2 tanks left, 2 heavy tanks and an artillery. And we're going to see if we can get into a position to shoot the heavy tanks. So we knew where they were. They were around about the 7 line, HJ. So we're just being mindful that, obviously, we're a one-shot for those guys, probably. So we just got to be a bit careful. Because I think it's a Tiger 2 and an E100. And obviously, E100 will finish us off first time every time. The Tiger 2 will probably have to high roll. They do get spotted in the dunes. I didn't quite expect them to be that way. I thought they'd be going back towards their base. We end up bouncing off the back of the E100, which we're never going to pen with the APCR. 175 pen is just not going to go through an E100 at all. We will need the heat rounds for that guy, which we duly reload. We do have the side of his turret, so we get one in through the side of it. Aiming for the back end of his tank, we get another one straight through the back. I'm, again, a bit wary that artillery here... I mean, this guy's feeding me a damage frenzy here. But I've just got to be careful, because obviously if artillery decides that it just wants to shoot me, it will shoot me. But he is now being YOLO'd by the WZ1321, who he gets shut down, so now it's just the E100 left on the enemy team. And that is all that's left. Which is annoying, because this is where if I was in the M41D with the 227mm of APCR pen, the premium APCR, the 100 would be a hell of a lot easier to deal with, because my APCR with 175 pen isn't going to go through his ass, it's not going to go through his side, it's not going to go through his front, because it's like 200mm. I only have 175 pen, it's just not happening. 210 heat pen, especially after the to be fair, after the RNG changes with the pen, I'm going to pen the guy a lot more often than I would have done pre 6.0. As you see with that shot going through the side of that guy's turret there, and another one, they probably would have bounced. But I have to shoot his turret side because I can't pen his, his side because heat problems. I have to just get the side of his turret or his rear. When he was coming down off that ridgeline, I was hoping to track him, but unfortunately we didn't. But we got another couple of shots in, and the 430 version 2 finishes him off. But we finished that game with a victory, 4 kills, 4.6k damage, 1196 X assisted damage, an all-X medal for killing 3 tanks 2 tiers higher, an ace tanker medal, and 2.2k base, nearly 2.3k base XP, and a very, very nice game for the M41 Bulldog, wow, bottom tier. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!